Outside the 2 blocked field goals, which were important, but that last one he had no shot to make, and it was a 62-yarder. This was the most important play of the game. 6 minutes to go. Notre Dame is winning 14-13. They had the ball at the 49, and it's a 2nd and 1. This could go 2 different ways, and I can hear both arguments.
What you can do with the power of belief and working together and just staying through it, through thick and thin. That's what we are. That's a team. That's a family. That's guys that want it. I told you all week, we did not need luck. We did not need luck.
I am a little late getting to this video, so I do apologize for that, but it's just due to the fact there's been so many other things we've been talking about and so many other things going on in the college football world. However, with that being said, I still think it's more than worthy of talking about. What I'm referring to is the Notre Dame and Northern Illinois game, but more importantly, what we're here to talk about in this video is why Notre Dame really lost. Not only did I watch this game live, but recently I went back and I rewatched all the film and I rewatched the entire game so I could look for certain things. And since we did an entire separate film breakdown for Notre Dame's win over A&M, I also feel like it's only right that we do a film breakdown for their loss to Northern Illinois. And what's really interesting about this game is normally when you have a major upset, there is no film breakdown. It's more so of, oh, well, that team, they just got lucky. They had a couple of turnovers go their way, the ball bounced their way, and a lot of things just went in their favor. But in this case and scenario, no. I even said this during the live reaction. The better team won. Northern Illinois deserved to win that ball game. I can't emphasize this enough. Normally when a team like Notre Dame loses to Northern Illinois, they either throw a pick six or just scoop and score, but there was none of that. Northern Illinois just straight up bullied Notre Dame on their home field. It is what it is. We got to call it how we see it. Me just sitting up here talking about it doesn't do it any injustice. Let's get into the game. Late in the first quarter, right after Northern Illinois kicks a field goal, Notre Dame has it 1st and 10 on about roughly the 50-yard line. Riley Leonard's going to drop back, and speaking of Leonard, let's talk about him for a second. He has been one of, if not the most disappointing quarterbacks in all of Power 5. I keep saying the Power 5. It's going to take me a while to get used to this. It's no longer the P5. It is the Power 4. My apologies, but you get what I'm trying to say. He hasn't been good. And saying he hasn't been good, that's sugarcoating it. He's been quite awful. And he is one of the main reasons Notre Dame lost this game, but we'll get into all that in just a second. On this play, I don't know what he saw or what he was thinking or what he was doing. This guy he throws the ball to is nowhere near being open. Northern Illinois tips the ball and they get an interception.
And so he was going to be that left tackle, but
that was a big play in the game because that resulted in Northern Illinois marching down and kicking a 21-yard field goal to extend their lead to 13-7. How about this play early in the second half? 13-7, Northern Illinois got the ball. What if I were to tell you this running back gets a first down on this play? Look at this. He's got 3 guys standing in front of him and somehow, some way, gathers a first down.
Tries to find a hole. Does make.
Some people may say, well, Matt, it's not that big of a deal in a grand scheme of things, and I disagree. You stop this guy in his tracks, worst case scenario, it's 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, and this is a passing situation, and that is not Northern Illinois' bread and butter. It's not like this was some air raid offense throwing for 400 yards against Notre Dame. No, they beat them by grounding and pounding them, which is just... it's not a good look, and it's quite embarrassing. How about this play? 2nd and 7, and they get it to a 3rd and inches, and they quarterback sneak it and convert it. Why I bring this play up is because it was right after Notre Dame marched down the field and got a touchdown. They had the momentum. If you didn't get a first down here, they're going to get the ball back, and I'd say more than likely they were going to score. Although nothing came out of this drive, they ate clock. Notre Dame somewhat lost momentum because their defense was out there for about, 6, 9, it was like 4 or 5 minutes. And they put their defense in a better position. Outside the 2 blocked field goals, which were important, but that last one he had no shot to make, and it was a 62-yarder. This was the most important play of the game. 6 minutes to go. Notre Dame is winning 14-13. They had the ball at the 49, and it's a 2nd and 1. This could go 2 different ways, and I can hear both arguments. And even with myself, I'm arguing in my head. It's 2nd and 1. You're up by 1 point against a Northern Illinois team in which you should just beat soundly, but you find yourself in a dogfight. Just run the ball, ground and pound it, secure the win. Because in this game, if you got up, let's say 17-13, it feels like it's all but over because Northern Illinois was not just marching the ball down the field. However, there's also a side of me saying, 2nd and 1, this is a perfect time to throw a deep pass because Northern Illinois is expecting you to run the ball. It's common knowledge. Whenever it's second and short, it's a great time to take a shot. And I don't hate the play call because even if you throw an incompletion, throw the ball out of bounds, you got it 3rd and 1. And I've said this before, but one thing Nick Saban said years and years ago, it has always stuck with me. The plays you call, whether it be on offense or defense, it's not that big of a deal because at the end of the day, it comes down to execution. You can call the perfect play call, but if one guy out of those 11 doesn't do his assignment, it doesn't matter. And vice versa, if you're an offensive coordinator, you can draw up a terrible play, but if your players execute it phenomenally, it might work out. Me personally, I would have ran the ball here because I'm trying to just get out of here with a win. This is almost like a play call you draw up for your quarterback in the second quarter or early in the first quarter to get him in rhythm. But with this, the game's almost over. Getting in rhythm is out of the question. Riley Leonard's going to take the snap, and we know what happens next. He throws one of the worst passes I've ever seen.
Down the middle, intercept!
Not only was it a terrible read, but it was late, way behind the wide receiver, and he stared him down. It doesn't get too much worse than that. In Northern Illinois, they intercepted, and they get great field position. We know what happens next. Northern Illinois, they get a couple first downs, and they kick the game-winning field goal. That's the end of it. That's really all I want to show you there, but let's take a look at the box score. Here's where things get interesting. Northern Illinois had 45 carries on the day for a $190, averaging 4.2 yards per carry. It's pretty insane. On the flip side, Notre Dame, 28 carries, $123. Similar average yards per carry, 4.4. The thing that stands out the most is Northern Illinois ran the ball 45 times. You know what that tells me? They believed, hey, if we just line up our guys against theirs, we're better than them. And they were. Absolute craziness. Quarterback, he did his job. He didn't play really good, didn't play really bad, kept him in the game. When you heard the term and phrase game manager, Ethan Hampton was exactly that. He managed the game. 10 for 19, nothing crazy, 200 yards, 1 touchdown. But this is the biggest one out of them all. 0 INTs. QBR of 87, which is really nice. On the flip side, Mr. Riley Leonard, 20 for 32, okay, $160. But here's the difference. 0 touchdowns to 2 costly INTs. QBR of 25.8. Not what you like to see. We'll take a look at some more stats if you like. Northern Illinois, 16 first downs. Notre Dame, 17. Northern Illinois, 6 for 16 on third downs. Notre Dame, 3 for 10. And this is why I say the better team won. Northern Illinois outgained Notre Dame on the day by 102 yards, 388 to 286 on their home field. What would drive me insane if I was a Notre Dame fan is the fact that you passed the ball more than you ran the ball in this game. It should be flipped. You should have thrown the ball 20 times like Northern Illinois and ran it 45 times. It comes down to this for me. You couldn't stop the run, your quarterback played awful, and you got out-coached. That's all there is to it, man. I want to make this a short, simple, and sweet video. I'm curious. Let me know your thoughts down below. But, Romany.
I told you all week, we did not need luck. We did not need luck.